Hello and welcome to one of the best cars Nissan has ever created. This is a Nissan GTR from 2017, and this is also a Nissan GTR, but this is a slightly tuned version. This is a Nissan GTR Nismo. So in previous videos I've gone over the R32, R33 as well as the R34, and in today's video we are focusing on the legendary and latest one to the series, well, the R35. If you do go on to enjoy this video, don't forget leave a like and subscribe for more. Now when you first get behind the wheel of a standard GTR, well, you are greeted with some familiar sights, and that is the handling of the vehicle. It has a very similar handling style to the R33 GTR. So yes, the car feels a bit boaty when it comes to cornering, but the brakes are exceptional and you're able to just really chuck it into a corner, put your foot flat and have the vehicle step out, which is amazing because of the adaptive all-wheel drive system that the GTR comes with. Now when it comes to cornering, you can push it if you're brave enough, but by fully sending it into a corner, the car does end up sliding out because of how much the vehicle actually weighs, and it does weigh a pretty penny, coming at over 1700 kgs. Well, it is not the lightest GTR, so that is also not really affecting the performance, because unlike the previous GTRs which all featured an RB26 engine, this has a 3.8 liter V6 DETT which produces 564 brake horsepower. So that is a lot more than the standard GTRs of the past, but I mean, you need that to keep up with modern times, and the technology that this GTR has really taken what it's learned from the previous ones and just refined it and made it so much better to keep up with modern standards. Because unlike the older GTRs where if you built it for track focus, well, you couldn't really use it on the road, the suspension was very rough and it just wasn't really that much of an enjoyable driver. Whereas the Nissan R35, because it's a much newer vehicle, it has buttons. You just flip a switch and you can be in full on a track mode where the suspension is stiff and hard, where you click a different button and it's a perfect street driver. You can absolutely daily this vehicle, and that's what I love to see, that they've taken the iconic Nissan Skyline GTR and they haven't really lost the key elements. It's a fast vehicle, all-wheel drive, and when it comes to cornering, it's an absolute beast if you're brave enough. And then we have the Nissan GTR Nismo. Nismo is Nissan's in-house tuning brand. Just how AMG is for Mercedes, well, we have Nismo for Nissan. And Nismo takes whatever production vehicle Nissan produces and adds a lot more spice to it, and the GTR is no exception. So the GTR is actually 30 kgs lighter, and we see 30 horsepower being squeezed out of that motor. By upgrading the internals and adding better and stronger turbochargers, well, we see the boost and the remap of the ECU really change this vehicle, like to a point where also with the added aero bits, a larger wing, front splitter, diffuser, side skirts, it just helps the GTR take corners so differently compared to the standard GTR. Now in real life I don't know if that's the case, but in GT7 it really is. There's such a big difference that you may actually pick up on from the standard GTR to the Nismo, especially if you drive them back to back. So the Nissan GTR Nismo, it does everything that the standard GTR does, but just a little bit better. When I'm talking about throttle response, braking, cornering, it does everything just a lot better. That's why if you had to pick one of the two, you know, in GT7, well, for obvious reasons I'm gonna say go for the Nismo version. It takes corners a lot better, it just does everything better. But why not get them both, because they are both incredible vehicles. And these are just the GTR standard, and then once we fully upgrade them, oh boy, are we cooking with some real track weapons. Now when you get behind the wheel of the fully upgraded R35 GTR, you are welcome with 933 brake horsepower, with the vehicle only weighing just over 1200 kgs. So when it comes to cornering, with racing soft tires, the car is extremely grippy, especially if you have a torque vectoring differential and you have the split being 30-70. It is the perfect setting for a track focused vehicle. You are able to really push the vehicle to limits you didn't think was capable. Now, when it comes to braking, the car has exceptional brakes. It is so much better compared to the standard braking system, and the standard braking system wasn't anything to look down on. The car has just such a strong build, and honestly, if you're looking for a fun track vehicle, well, look no further to the Nissan GTR. The car has exceptional acceleration braking. It is super responsive even when it comes to your steering. It is so darty and it's just all over the place. Even when you when you adjust the downforce to be fully maxed out, it is such a lethal weapon. You can actually still get a bit of a slide on, coming out of a few corners with no traction control on, but that's just adding to the fun of the GTR, because if it was completely serious, just grip all the time, then it wouldn't be as fun or enjoyable compared to how it is now. With the car being just completely track focused, it is insanely fast. And if you actually want to spice up your life, with it having an adjustable torque vectoring differential, well, you can set most of the power to go to the rear wheels and actually step the rear end out. But even now, the footage that you're currently watching, this is set to 90%. The car is still able to hold insane grip levels and still be pushed insanely hard and still have a lot of grip in it. Now when it comes to the Nissan GTR Nismo being fully upgraded, it is completely different, and we actually see the gap between the two vehicles actually really change. Now with the Nismo being fully upgraded, it still weighs over 1300 kgs and it only has about 13 more horsepower compared to standard GTR. However, this can be changed, because unlike the standard GTR, the Nismo variant is able to get an ultra high RPM turbocharger, which will then shoot this car's power up to almost 1000 brake horsepower, coming at over 990 brake horsepower. And then when it comes to your weight, that can also be decreased by adding stage 5 weight reduction to the vehicle. Now you are only able to get these items through roulette tickets, so they are extremely hard to come by because the roulette system is completely broken. But the Nissan GTR Nismo, if you have to use it standard, is a lot better than the standard GTR. But once you actually start getting to fully upgrading it and you don't have the special parts, well, the standard GTR is almost identical, but the Nismo just edges it out ever so slightly. But they are both absolutely incredible vehicles, and if you haven't tried them out, I suggest you do. However, I just have this suspicion that everyone has at least tried out the GTRs once before. So let me know about your experience. How do you feel about these Japanese vehicles? With all this being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.